Hey guys, welcome back. This is week 7 Project Life, and this week I am using the From the Heart add-on scrapbooking kit from Citrus Twist. Now this kit is just absolutely chock full of crepe paper garden party, and obviously these kind of kits are more designed for kind of scrapbook pages. Being a scrapbook add-on, that does not mean that I am not determined to make it work for Project Life as well. So I'm starting with the 12 by 12 papers and just having a quick flick through all of those. There's also 3 sheets of cardstock, so I'm potentially going to use some of those as well. The second time I'm going through these papers, I'm being a little bit more critical about which ones I think I could trim down and actually use on my spread. And I mean, there's so many gorgeous florals in here, but florals don't really have a whole lot to do with kind of the photos that are on my spread this week. So I am picking out a few kind of more, I'm going to call them neutrals, but you can see they're not really neutrals. I've got a polka dot, I've got a couple of different stripes. I figured all 3 of those cardstocks would actually work on this spread. There's a lot of kind of orange and yellow in here. And so I've just kind of set those aside for now, and I decided the other thing I would do is go through the die cut pack, because one of the issues that I normally have with crepe paper and their die cut packs is that the die cuts are all very large, which is actually kind of going to work to my advantage here today, because there are a couple of large ones in here that are actually sized a little bit bigger than a 3x4, which means I'll be able to trim them down and use them as a 3x4 card. And so that's why I wanted to go through those before I sort of started committing to cutting down those 12 by 12 papers. So I've used this one. It's kind of a, I don't know, a kind of note paper grid kind of card. It's got a few holes at the top. It does have rounded corners, but it is slightly taller than 3x4. So I'm going to use that for my 3x4 card. As I was going through that pack, I did pull out a few other little die cuts that I thought were kind of cute, and I'm going to embellish my page with those. So I've just pulled them out for now, and now I can go ahead and actually decide on some of these papers to use. So I really loved this yellow stripe, yellow diagonal stripe. I've used a few little yellow embellishments in here. I pulled out that bird from the die cut, and like, it literally has nothing to do with the week, but I loved it so much. It was so cute. I decided to use it on my title card. I guess if I'm if I'm really trying to connect things, maybe it's the early bird and it goes with my sunrise photo. So there you go. It has a purpose. Mostly though, I really wanted to use this cute yellow bow on the photo of my tonic can. And so the yellow stripe worked really nicely to just bring in a few more of those yellow tones. But I really did love this black and white polka dot. I know it's so plain. It's probably one of the plainest papers in there, but I loved it. It didn't kind of overwhelm the rest of the page too much, so I'm going to use that for my title card. Now, the other thing that I had in here, especially in my photos, is there's a few pops of blue, so I decided to trim down this blue stripe for my last 3x4 card, just to bring a little bit more blue onto that side of the spread, because so far it's kind of the blues all on the right hand side, so adding that little 3x4 blue and white stripe there just brings a little bit more balance into the layout. Now I had decided that behind my 4 degrees, guys, 4 degrees, I had to take a screenshot, because in this photo, this spread this week, we are still like in summer, and 4 degrees, I was like, ugh, really? But my point is, it's quite a dark kind of black blob on the left-hand side there. So I'm going to kind of lighten that up a little bit with some pink. There's a lot of pink in this kit, so I know I'm going to end up adding pink in here as well. It's going to help to tone down that kind of blue and yellow theme that I've got going on here as well. So a few little spots of pink here and there, including on this tag. So I added one of the labels, and I've used a stamp from the Storytelling 6x8 stamp set, and then I used one of the little kind of flags, tiny word kind of flags down the bottom underneath that, and I adhered it to the photo, but I did add a couple of tiny attacher staples just for a little bit of detail. Now I'm going to sort of rely heavily on the stamp set for this spread. Apart from the die cuts, the stamping really is kind of the only embellishing in here. I have gone ahead and added my journaling to that 3x4 embellishment / die cut / journaling card, and so now I can kind of start putting the rest of the spread together. So when I first laid out this card, I had everything quite centered, but when I stuck everything down, I decided to just offset that tag a little bit. The photo is still in the center of that card, but I've moved the tag so that it's sitting at the bottom and just a little bit more towards the right-hand side, just so it sticks out beside that screenshot. And then I partially inked up a stamp. The stamp says "so funny," and I decided that wasn't true, so I just used the funny portion of that. And then I added some tiny little letter stickers and put "not." So now it reads "not funny." I do love doing that with sentiments. It's often super easy to change the meaning of them just by like partially leaving off a stamped word. So very easy little trick for getting a little bit more out of your stamps. Now, the first thing I did was add a puffy sticker, and I added a little hedgehog just because it was cute, but then I decided to kind of make a bit more of a feature of those bows. I've already added this die cut bow, and there were some little bow puffy stickers. I added one onto the bottom of my journaling card, and so in the end I swapped out the hedgehog for a yellow bow. So that gives me those 3 predominant colors on that one card, but also ties in those bows all the way across the center of my spread. Now I'm doing that same kind of recipe on this photo. I've added my word with the tiny little stickers and then added a stamp on top of that. I'm just stamping directly onto my photo there with some Memento Tuxedo black ink. And the other thing that I've got is these, well, are they thickers? I don't know. They're puffy stickers, 6x12 puffy sticker sheet. And I wanted to add something onto my larger photo at the top here. There were a couple of stickers that I thought would really work. I really liked the "You Make Me Smile" one, but in the end I decided to add the "Wonderful" just to bring a little bit more kind of pink up there rather than that neutral white sticker. So next up I am going to work on my title cards, and I want to create a kind of shelf. I want to create a shelf for my little bird to sit on. I was just choosing which one of those colored cardstocks to use, and in the end I kind of went with this mustardy yellow instead of the kind of peachy orange. Just it was a little bit bolder, and I've got a bit more yellow on here than I do really that orange color. Now the bird is a vellum piece. I always struggle with these kind of acetate and vellum pieces. Luckily this one fit perfectly through my Xyron machine, so I just threw that through there. I've turned it into a sticker. I'm just working out where everything's going to go before I go ahead and stick that down. I know I'm probably not going to be able to peel him off again. I'm going to add him onto the left, and I've got another one of those kind of labels down the bottom for my date stamping. And then I'm going to use my very favorite pink foam alphas. I've got a whole brand new set to use because I'm all out of ease in the other ones. I'm just really simply adding the words week 7 across there, and then I'm going to add my date stamp down the bottom. I haven't actually trimmed off the label yet. I will do that. I was just leaving that there to see whether I needed to move it or not after I had added the title, which I didn't. It's a huge label, which means I get to add both whole date stamps and then trim that off. And that's a really simple title card, but I really love how that turned out. Now at that point I thought I was done, but I realized I have forgotten to do this 4x6 card down the bottom here. Again, when I pulled out those die cut pieces, I pulled out this floral for no other reason than the fact that I really loved it. It has very little to do with my photo, but it does bring in some of those kind of colors down here. It's got the peach and the pink on top of that yellow stripe, but my issue is it is another vellum piece, so I'm not, and this one's definitely too big to fit through my Xyron, so I'm just working out how I'm going to attach that. I added a title to the card using that same stamp set, and then ran it through my typewriter to add just a little bit more journaling about this particular photo. And then I've worked out where that floral is going to be able to go behind my photo. I've added some tape runner behind my photo to attach that to the floral piece, and then I added a little bit of glue stick to the flower, and I trimmed off the bottom, but I wasn't going to waste it. I'm going to use this, this other piece too, adding a little bit more glue, and then I'm going to add that to the top corner and trim that down. Now, the glue stick, you can kind of see through it, but definitely not as much as the tape runner. So if all else fails, if your Xyron doesn't work, a little bit of glue stick does wonders. That's it. That's this whole week done. I really love how this turned out. This kit is just gorgeous. I'm going to leave the link for you down below if you want to pick one up for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.